Welcome to All In Magazine, the publication doing things different. We are an in-depth story-sharing magazine with the truth of the matter at the heart of everything, always in all ways. A no-holds-barred, fully experiential space where you can read, watch and listen to some of the most authentic humans sharing their stories, dropping wisdom and cultivating a community you always want to be part of. Are you ready to go all in?
Welcome to All In Magazine live streaming with you. Hello, I'm Rich Bontrager, the Trigger, and that again is Sandra D. Robinson, believe it or not.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're really happy that you are here today. We are celebrating this issue, which is all about celebrating life. That is the theme for the issue. And boy, do we have a guest today that is going to show us various ways to go ahead and celebrate. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, and again, we're going back over the pond to Ireland. We both love the accent. We both love the people. So, yeah, we're in for a very special treat. And we're getting with the guy who's comedian, writer, director, and he's all over social media. So who the heck is this guy, Sandra?
This guy is Stephen Cowboy Kelly. We'll find out where Cowboy came from. He's a very funny Irishman. He's made famous for his antics in Hardy Bucks, $3 left, and it's never sunny in Kilfinane. I will probably be corrected in that pronunciation. I'm just saying. He is a family man with a voice that he doesn't mind sharing. He is not afraid to speak up and be counted in social media land. And his sense of humor comes in the form of incredibly dry wit. There is wisdom in there too. So you just hang out for a second and you'll understand. Stephen has been touring with his comedy to some incredible places and loving life everywhere he goes. You can catch him across multiple channels, as Rich just said, from Instagram to TikTok, YouTube to podcasts. Believe me, he's worth catching, and you can catch him right now, this very second, as we bring him up on stage with us. Stephen, it's good to see you.
Thank you very much, guys. It's an absolute pleasure, and what an introduction. I hope I live up to it.
So tell me, correct my pronunciation for Kilfinane. Kilfinane.
Kilfinane. That's something that I haven't been in. That's the only thing that you got wrong. So I don't know where that slipped into the information. But someone else asked me about that before, and I'm like, I've never even heard of it. Now, in saying that, I have.
Yeah.
I have lived a very full life, and I might have been in something that I can't even remember.
Well, that matches our theme for the month, because we are celebrating life, and you definitely have lived a full life. If you watch Stephen's videos, you will see a very gregarious, fun-loving, freewheeling guy. So I got to ask you about that, Stephen, real quickly, because we're on All In Magazine. What does all in mean to you? Because you seem to be a pretty all-in guy all the time.
All in is literally all in. Well, just to bring it down a bit, I had a heart attack when I was 28, and I had a brain aneurysm when I was 31, and I survived both of them things. And after the brain aneurysm, I said that I was going to live my life to the fullest, which I did. And I have 5 kids as well, so I try and bring them along with the journey as well as traveling the world doing what I do.
Now you also have, was I right in reading that you've done running? I mean, running has been your passion as well. So you've done marathons, and I see you drinking the pints very, very vigorously.
Yes.
And then I hear that you're running.
Yes. I do. Sometimes I don't. People wonder, how do I do it? But that's what I do. I run and I drink pints. Yes, in 2019, I ran from Dublin to Mayo, which is 230 kilometers, 103 days. That was my first big challenge. And every year I do a big challenge like that. I've done bigger ones since, and maybe 1 or 2 small ones in between as well. It keeps me humble. And I always said if I had a platform that I would give back, I always do them for charity. Yeah. So I try and give back as much as I can. If I had any size platform at all, which I do now, I will always try and help out people that deserve to be helped out, worthy causes.
Well,
so yeah, run and save my life, really, to be honest.
So you drink and run at the same time? Just to clarify that, please.
No. When I trained for the 2019 marathons, or ultra marathons, I had 6 months off the drink, and I trained real hard. And since then, I've just been winging it, like winging it. I somehow managed to keep the fitness, and also if I was training for a marathon, I wouldn't be having a mad sessions before. But I'll have one or two. I'll keep the videos going, keep the crack going. So, and that's what it's all about as well. It's all about fun and crack and making people smile. The first Creamy Pint video that I done was literally for a bit of crack. It was the first one was when I was looking out the window. It was a really hot day. We don't get many of them in Ireland. And I remember looking out the window, and I just made a quick. I said, it smells like a cracker of a day. It could be a good day to go shopping. Like, why would you go shopping on a really hot day? And then I finished it off with shopping for creamy effing pints. Okay. So when I said it, I thought, I don't even know if that'll work. Checked back about 3 hours later, it had gone absolutely nuts. So I thought it was a one-off thing. The following Friday, I didn't bother with it. I just thought it was a one-off thing. I got about 100 messages wondering, where's the creamy pint for something. We just wanted it straight away. So then every Friday, then it became its own thing, and it's brought me around the world.
Yes, and you've got the merch, you got the hat for the Creamy Pints. That's me. You got all that.
Yes, I should have brought it in. I left it on the. Yeah, I left it in the car. I was going to say, geez, I should have brought that up. But yes, I've just after doing.
You know, I found your stuff.
Yes.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
So,
the Creamy Pint video, or the Creamy Pint hat, is it just blew up again. I put up a picture of it before I went and done the Canada tour, and I had about 300 orders, and I hadn't even it on sale yet. So
how very cool!
It was nuts.
How very cool.
So let's talk about your social.
Oh. Go ahead. Rich.
No, I was going to say, let's go a little bit deeper in your social media. But during COVID, that's really where you exploded.
Yeah.
Just getting online and going for it. And after it did go viral, did you really come up with a plan then to go even further viral?
Well, you see, when I was with the Hardy Bucks, I was only a satellite character, and I went back just before COVID. Of course, I went back. Mark Maloney asked me would I join the live shows that they were doing, and I said I would. And the next live show was in Vicar Street in Dublin. Now, you might know what Vicar Street is, but Vicar Street is the pinnacle of comedy in Ireland. That's where you get to the top. So for me, I started at the top and worked my way down, so to speak, and I fell in love with it. So I knew then that the boys were only doing eight shows. Me and Peter Cassidy, who played French Toast in the Hardy Bucks, wanted to continue it. So we said the only way we could do that is if we set up our own page. And there was Mikey Salmon involved with this as well, but Mikey quickly dropped out. He realized that the live shows weren't for him. So, but by the time Mikey had dropped out, the page became so big that we couldn't even change it if we wanted to. So we just kept doing it. And you're right, Rich. It was COVID that made the page big, not the Creamy Pints. People forget that the page came from, we say my anger at the way the government were handling the lockdown and the political side of things. People say that, why did you go near the political stuff?
Yeah, you were not.
Was that? Yes, I definitely wasn't alone.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that they think it was the Creamy Pint thing that made the page go viral. The page was big before the Creamy Pints ever got involved.
It's the beginning. The beginning was the beginning. Now, I know we're talking about your tour and being Canada and all of this, and I know that you had been on a podcast before, and I'd seen you speak, and actually that's where I said, you're funny, but there are words of wisdom in there. And you were asked about spreading yourself too thin, how you managed to do that. And you said that you would rather keep an eye on that or keep that under control, because if you spread yourself too thin, you're not really giving 100% quality to any person or anything. What do you do in order to,
100%.
When you're touring, how do you keep that energy and that balance?
It's just something that you have to do, and because we drink as well when we're out, and it's all part of it. People want to be buying you pints, and you feel like you haven't finished off the show if you don't go out with the crowd or go down and have one or two pints with them. So there's always alcohol. So you are tired, and especially when you're on tour, you just have to roll with it. You have to. The tour comes first, apart from the social media, and obviously, when I say the tour comes first, family always comes first. But when you're touring, it's the tour, the shows, get people packed in, give them 100%. After that, then, and I learned that from tours. When I went to Australia, when we done the Australia tour, I was trying to keep up the social media videos and putting pressure on myself to have a video every day. And there is this thing with social media, or there was this thing with social media. Even Garen Noon at the minute, he's burnt out a little bit, and he's taking a little bit of a break. But there's an awful pressure to come up with something new or something different every single day. And you actually start to put pressure on yourself. You're like, the people want it, but the people wait. They'll wait. And I discovered that over the last year, definitely, to not put as much pressure on myself, to keep everything going. Make sure that the important stuff is done first.
Well, some of your best,
like you said,
some of your best videos are you just riffing. They aren't
Yes.
planned out. You're walking down the street. You're in your car. It's just you being you, but people are attracted to you being you.
Yes.
What-
Yes. So
what makes that work for you?
you're right. It's just being real. People love people being real. I've done I'm not a great editor, but I've tried to edit videos and make them look very, very sharp, and they never work as good as the raw, natural, in your face, out there. And yes, I may use a few colorful words here and there, and a couple of lovely little punchlines that I've an arsenal of from hanging out with absolute hilarious people all my life. And you think to yourself, that was a funny saying. I keep that one in the memory, and that'll fit in somewhere nice. Or you might come up with one yourself, or you might hear one and you might just improve it that little bit. But you keep that little bit of a punchline for a certain situation, and then you just pick it out when you need it. And it worked so far. Anyways, now in saying that, it has also got a lot of my pages restricted, but I'll keep going until yeah. So about what can
Oh, a
you
little
do?
controversy is good. A little controversy is good. It gets
Yes, of
more
course.
attention. So it's okay.
Shy babies don't get any sweets.
I like that. I'm going to use
Yes.
that. I'm going to put that in my arsenal for a little later.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I
I
think
did.
that also your stand-up comedy is extremely funny, but also you land on very serious stuff that you weave into the humor. Did you stumble
Yes.
on that, or was that
No,
intentional?
that
You were going to go somewhere.
that's something that I wanted to bring with me. Because I am very passionate about my country, what's going on in it. I'm very passionate about humanity in general. I don't want to see anyone being we'll say, you know, being stomped on. I just don't like it. I don't like people taking advantage of other people. So I will highlight certain situations if I can at all, and I try and do that by interweaving it in with the comedy.
Mm.
So I feel like I'm obligated to do it at this stage with the platform that I have and with the topics that I've touched over the years.
I honor that. And don't you think that people are able to hear it sometimes a little bit better when it is encased in levity, when it's encased in humor?
Yes, of
They might
course.
be a little less defensive, perhaps.
Yes, of course, and it brings a point across to people that wouldn't usually accept the point or understand the point. And comedy is within. There's always a line. There's always a fine line. When it comes to every situation, sometimes there's no one answer for certain situations, but comedy is there's very little boundaries with comedy when it's done right. And comedy is subjective. What's funny for one person may not be funny for another person, and then you do another video and it's completely flipped. So I'd hate to think that I was just a one-trick pony with I cover a lot of angles. You'll see, one day you'll go on and I'll be drinking a creamy pint. The next day I'll be talking about immigration. The next day I'll be talking about Donald Trump. The next day I'll be talking about, people pulling out in front of you in the car. So it's all over the place.
So Stephen, I love that you recognize that you have a platform, but I wonder who might have had a platform when you were thinking about getting into this as a career. Who did you get inspired by? What comedians do you look at and say they did it right? Because you said those that do comedy right. Who got it right, or who gets it right?
The funny thing is, the only comedian I've really, really ever followed was Tommy Tiernan, and he doesn't do anything on social media. So
I had to look hard to find him. Yeah.
Yes, he's very good. After that, it was just probably my mates in the Hardy books. Like, I always thought they were hilarious. Martin Maloney, hilarious. Now, the problem with Martin is, and I've told him this, and he'll know this, and he'll watch this himself. He's a super intelligent man. Maybe sometimes too super intelligent, where he's so out there. His mind is just on a different plane, where it goes over people's head like a giraffe's fart. So it's just, he is super talented, super funny. And after that, the thing is, I never really watched anyone else. Now, I thought Garen, but Garen came after me. I thought Garen was brilliant. Garen Noon. I thought he was absolutely and I still think he's fantastic when it comes, especially his social media pages. And he's actually an even better singer. If you ever get a chance to see him live, please do. But yeah. Oh, that's what Garen started off with. Garen started off singing. Phenomenal singer.
Wow.
We're going to take a brief break.
Yeah.
We got a lot more to talk about. In fact, when we come back, I want to talk about the beard. We're coming back with Stephen Kelly on All In Magazine in just a moment. Welcome back to All In Magazine. Rich Bontrager, the Trigger, with you. Sandra D. Robinson, my co-host, with me again. And all the way from Ireland, Stephen Kelly is an actor, director, comedian. But we got to talk about the beard. Because I know early on you did not have that when you first were on camera and stuff. So, and you're kind of trimmed down right now. It's not as wild and bushy. So where did the beard come?
I'm very much trimmed down. It was like a prop for a while, but then eventually I was just being lazy by not shaving it. And I think they made me, when I had the beard really wild, that's when I went the wildest on camera as well. The beard, I couldn't grow a beard until I started running, until I started training for the run in 2019 or 2018 when I started training. Didn't never really had to shave. Just couldn't grow a beard as soon as I started training, because it was after really the heart attack I started getting fit, and then when I had the brain aneurysm, I was probably that was the fittest day I ever was, and I was just after running my first 10K race that earlier on that day. So, and it was probably the fitness that I built up, that actually saved my life in the end.
For sure.
But when Beaumont saved my life, I said to them on the way out, might have been the drugs I was on to be sedated and for the painkillers. I said, I'm going to pay you back for saving my life. And about 2 years later, I ran from Dublin to Mayo and raised money for them. So, and that was when the beard started, and I think I've only shaved it twice since. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. My family hate it.
Those are the type of answers we want.
Absolutely. They're the only ones that do, though. Yeah. So my grandmother is still alive. She's 94 years of age. Every time I visit her, she says, when are you going to shave that dirty thing off?
Of course. Of course. You have to rely on that. She's never going to change. That's just what grandmas do, right? Before we forget about this, tell us, people that aren't familiar with you, where did the term cowboy come from?
Yeah.
The term cowboy, I actually done a video on this that I only put up on I've only put it up on the stories, and I put it up on TikTok as well. Because it came from Mark Maloney. Mark Maloney christened me is for the character in the Hardy books. It was actually Cowboy Lavin, not Cowboy Kelly. And the reason he done that was I was in jeans and shirts and boots going into town when I was 18, 19, 20 years of age, with like real proper cowboy shirts, and everyone else was in tracksuit bottoms, and he just gave me the name cowboy. We all got on, but that was just my style. I was probably into rock and a bit maybe country rock as well, and there was one or two other reasons he called me cowboy, but that's basically it. Was Martin that christened me cowboy, and I absolutely. The thing is, I hated it. I hated it, and oh yeah, I hate it. I hate it, but it stuck. There's nothing I can do about it now. Nothing I can do about it now. So just for a funny reference from this and cowboy and my name's Stephen. I done a video about the Orange Men burning bonfires in the north a couple of days beforehand, and then I had this. I seen this picture with one of the bonfires, and it said FUCK Stephen. Now it wasn't directed at me, but I pretended that it was, right? And then everyone was like, "Who's Stephen?"
Oh,
Like, yeah. And I was like, so I made the video. I said, "Who's Stephen?" I said, "Who the do you think Stephen?" I said, "Do you think my mother christened me cowboy?" So it was like, I was like, but everyone was. People that I've been talking to online even for years. Who's Stephen?
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was nuts. Because a lot of people know me just from 3 Books Left, actually not the Stephen Kelly cowboy page.
Same thing has happened with Trigger. There's people that only know me by Trigger, and they don't know my real name. So this is part of the branding. That's part of the fun. Now,
And with me, it's Sandra D. A lot of people that even bring me in to speak don't even know my last name. They just know Sandra D. See it with Grease, and it's one of the things that stuck in the head. And I hated it growing up because that's my real name, and I was harassed with that name because of the songs.
But it does have a lovely ring.
Yeah, so it turns out to be a good thing.
You've got music and stuff behind you on the wall. I'm interested, as a creative, as a performer, what inspires you with creativity? Do you listen to music? Do you write your jokes? Do you do a TikTok or creative?
Music. In my live show, there's music in as well, especially when Martin's with us, especially for the international shows. And Jim Morrison and Rory Gallagher would be a big part of that. I was a big Doors fan. Myself and Martin Maloney, who played Eddie Durkin in the Hardy Books, the main character. That's how we bonded over Jim Morrison and the Doors. And the next thing, it just got into all the others after that. Rory Gallagher, then in the last few years, big fan of Rory. In fact, my introduction for the second half of the show is a Rory Gallagher song. And I do a little bit of a Jim Morrison monologue in the middle of it all as well that people do not expect. And that's the reason I do it. It's a long monologue, which Jim Morrison went into from time to time. And that kind of levels everyone off again because it can get rowdy.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for all these things throughout the live show. The live show can go on for 2.5 hours.
Crowd control.
Yes.
Staying in control of the crowd. This is brilliant.
Now, you were just in the States too. You did a swing over here.
Yeah.
You covered New York, Arizona. What's it like for the crowd? Totally different than your normal crowd, I bet. So do you change it up? Do you do things differently or not?
Oh yes, we learned to change it up. We learned that when we went to the UK the first time, because we're so used to an Irish crowd and it's a very colloquially Irish show. So we learned very much to make sure that there's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't have to be Irish to get it. Now, in saying that, there is a massive Irish diaspora in all the places that we go to. So they always turn out. So you're always going to have at least 50% Irish. And of course, they'll bring along their American, Canadian, Australian, New Zealand friends as well, and the UK and England. So it is. We have done shows that the very odd time you'll shout out something from Ireland, and it's like tumbleweed. So then you know you have to work. Then you know if you have to work harder.
You read the room. Read the
So
room.
we read the. I go out straight away to start it off, and I read the room straight away. I have a couple of quips that will determine how the show is which direction it's going to go. Whether it's going to go political, whether we're going to keep it like boyish, whether we're going to keep it kind of like even a bit highbrowish, or we're going to keep it even a bit more musical. So we can, like, we have about 4 or 5 hours material at any one time between the three of us, maybe more. So we'll know from there what direction to
So
take.
it sounds like your team is very cohesive. If you can move like that.
You wouldn't. They're just super talented. That's exactly what they are. Cohesive wouldn't be a word that I'd use to describe the three of us, because we're all, I'd say, all a touching of ADHD, and that's be including our manager as well. So, but it always works. It always works. Purely because we're stone mad.
So as a creative, you're an author, you're a comic, you're a director, you're an actor. Which one do you really love? Which one maybe comes more naturally for you of all those creative elements?
The stand-up is my favorite. I'd love to get back into proper acting, and I was mentioning to you before that I'm going to be involved with like this reality. I can't get into it too much as of yet, but within the next couple of days, I'm going to be involved with a serious type of reality TV show. So stay tuned for more on that. But definitely
with that, right? That'll be a call.
Yes. But it's definitely the stand-up it's what I love. It's what I live for professionally. Love it. Absolutely love being in front of the crowd.
There are people that I know. In fact, I just was on a call yesterday with a woman that chooses to spend her time. It is not her full-time career, but she always had this feeling like she wanted to do stand-up. There may be some people watching this right now that feel the same way, but it terrifies her so much that she literally will go and throw up before she goes on stage. What is it about stand-up that has that sort of pull for people when they're so terrified? What's the reward?
It's been up there. Firstly, I very rarely get nervous, and in fact, when I say very rarely, I would say I don't think I've ever got nervous going up on stage.
Wow.
And if I did, it was because maybe this is about 3 or 4 shows in, and I'm just tired, or a bit of anxiety from the amount of drink that just be drank sometimes. But when we were up on stage, we turned it on. The last show that we done, a perfect example, was probably the only show in a long time that we done in New York before we came back home. We were on the 25th day of touring, and it was just at this stage it was just me and Martin Maloney. And I remember looking at Martin. We had an appearance the evening before, and they kept us there till about 4 or 5 in the morning. This is at about 1 o'clock, and I'm like, how are we going to put ourselves together for the show at 7 o'clock? And as soon as we got on stage, turned it straight on like that, it was incredible, and it was one of the best shows we've ever done. It was insanely good. It was. I couldn't believe that we turned it around.
The adrenaline kicked in, right? Yeah.
The adrenaline. It's all to do with the adrenaline. That lady. Did you say it was a lady?
Yes. This one was a lady.
Yes. She obviously wants to challenge herself, and it is a challenge. Stand up comedy is one of the toughest entertainment things that you can do. Music, people can subconsciously listen to you in the background. You can get away with an awful lot in music, because people, especially if you're in a bar venue or some place that maybe serve and drink or something like that, people kind of tune in and tune out, and they enjoy the music. But when you're doing comedy, you need everyone's attention, because if you don't have their attention, then there's no point in telling the joke, because there's 3 or 4 different points to get to the actual end line in a lot of stories. So you have to be fully concentrated. But to keep people that invested in what you're saying for so long, it takes a lot of gumption. And anyone that wants to do stand-up, go for it. Absolutely, 100%. But don't be afraid of getting knocked back the odd time as well. These things will happen. That doesn't mean that you're not funny. Yeah.
Stephen,
So,
I'm going to bring up your Instagram account here. For those watching and viewing today, scan
yes.
the QR code. So what are they going to find on your Instagram or other social media? Because you want people to go check you out, man.
Yeah, that's my normal one. So that one is a quiet one. It's the $3 left one that I use mostly. So, but if you go onto that one, you will get the link straight to the $3, straight to $3 left. It's all tied in together. They're both from the same phone, and they're pretty much the same account. So anything that's happening on $3 left, you're going to see it there at some stage eventually. But you will see drinking creamy pints every Friday. It's what people want. They just want it. You will see lots of anti-corruption. I'm not going to say anti-government, but yes, I do hold the governments, especially our own government, to task every so often when I think that they're not pulling their weight. Remember that governments are voted in by the people to serve the people for the people, and I will always keep them to task on that as well, if at all possible. And eventually, you never know, I may end up heading into it myself.
Ooh,
That was
that's
going
a
to
big
be
announcement
the
right
next
there.
question. Where do you see your career ultimately going? Do you have a big picture, an audacious goal?
Yeah. I would like to say that I would like to keep touring for another 5 years. I'm 42 now. I would like to keep it going for another 5 years, and I would then like. I know that a lot of my good friends think that I'm absolutely nuts. I know that Alan Clark thinks that I'd be nuts to go into politics, but I would actually love to go into politics at some stage. So yeah, or that or own my own restaurant. I love food.
Ooh. Well,
Very cool.
Stephen Kelly,
Yeah,
we
absolutely love food.
appreciate you being on All In Magazine Live today. It's been a blast. And again, he's teased a new show coming. He's teased maybe politics in his future. So go check him out and keep watching,
Yes.
because you never know what Stephen's going to do, right?
100%.
Thank you much, Stephen. So Sandra,
Yeah.
what's your takeaway from, again, he's a fun guy. He's all over the map though, too.
He is. I mean, all of those with ADHD just do a cheer, right? Because this is what it can look like. But he uses that completely, and it's part of his brand, and I think it's great. I love to see the type of person that takes a platform that they've been given and weaves in some of the messages and is unafraid to do that, because that's what makes us love individuals that have an opinion. It makes us love them. Or, as he does some things on his social media talking about the haters and things, and he doesn't really care, which is a great, healthy way to look at it. There are going to be those people that disagree, but I think coming at it with the humor and with the following that he has, he really can make an impression. If nothing else, as he said, remind people that the government, at least for Ireland, and also here in America, is voted in by the people. We have a responsibility to step up and say something if we feel it. And that's what he's demonstrating. So I think it's great.
Well, don't forget, if you like this show, you want more of this content, there's a whole magazine filled with content, with interviews with global leaders, influencers, actors, creatives. It's called All In Magazine. And you're getting a little glimpse of it right here with Sandra and I from the live interview segment, but there's much, much more. So you want to subscribe to it. It's a digital magazine and see what's being done. Kira Henahan is the publisher, creator of it, does a marvelous job. So hit the QR code and learn more about All In Magazine. So Sandra, that's going to do it for our edition today. Final thoughts, takeaways?
Takeaways, I just to be braver. I've done a tiny bit. I really not even stand up, just things like the groundlings. And I've taken courses when I was in LA in comedy and improvisation. It's terrifying. I mean, I'm up there with a woman that I spoke to the other day. It's just terrifying to me, but it is fascinating all at the same time. And I think that taking away how courageous you can be with those things. If there's something on your heart, get out there and do it. And that's what he's doing. And maybe the comedy he's not nervous about, but I'm sure he thinks about those points that he's going to bring out, and he's brave enough to go and mention that and say the things that he's thinking. And we need to be more like that, perhaps.
I love his journey through the media, and he's gotten bigger and bigger and bolder and bolder. I can't do stand-up comedy because I can't remember the punchline. So that's kind of
important.
That's Sandra D. Robinson. I'm the Trigger Rich Bontrager. We're going to be back here next month again with another great guest and conversation for All In Magazine. Until then, have a great month. We'll see you then.
Bye.